Hey everybody, welcome back. Just wanted to tell you, my last video I commented about my generator not wanting to start after 2 hours or more. It died just while I was running, so I went ahead, and checked the fuel, checked the air filter, checked the oil, took the spark plug out and checked it. And I tried for over an hour cranking on it and trying to get it started. It wouldn't do anything, and then I just said, generator, you and I need to have a little talk. I said, I'm going to give you a rest for another hour or so, and if you don't start when you get done, I'm going to throw you in the dumpster. And guess what? Started right up first crank and been running fine for 3 days. Hadn't missed a lick. Who knows? Machines, that's what happens. You just never know these things. But 3 days it's been running fine. Starts on the first crank every time now. Anyway, I do have some news about the bus, so stay tuned, and we'll get you the news of what's going on. Well, let me show you what's going on with our awning out here. In the last video I talked about this awning. It's still got the air holes in it, but we're expecting winds up to, let's see what the weather said, 20 to 40 miles an hour with 50 plus mile an hour gust coming in a few days. So I think what I'm going to do, since this is shredded, I'm going to drop it down. I could drop it down a couple notches and then lower the profile of it and then reattach it with my bungee cords and strap it down. And maybe that'll keep it from having the extra blow off. So, I mean, if it rips apart and shreds and breaks more, I'll just put it back together. But with all the ventilation holes there all the way around, it seems to have less resistance now to the wind than it did before. So, which is good. So, beautiful day, but man, it's windy. Just in gusts. It's been pretty steady today, but it is windy and getting that way for the next few days. Well, I had a camper come up to ask a question, and guess what? As soon as he got up here and started talking, a huge gust of wind came again and ripped this thing wide open. And look, it held where the tape was, but it ripped all the way up. So I got a major sunroof now. I don't know, I may just take the whole thing down and just forget about it. And because that wind up here, as I said, is just ripping like crazy. With 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts this weekend, there's no way that's going to hold up. So we may just remove it. But every day is exciting up here at the lake. Well, you found our secret hiding place. This is where Zen and I have been coming for the last 2 summers, just kind of get away from the things. We're not very far from camp. We're in the upper loop, in the pine trees and aspen trees. So we come up here just to get some shade and just take things easy and get out of the wind, right? It's windy. Good thing you're close to the ground. But I might as well go ahead and just take my awning down, what's left of it, because it's going to rip to shreds before the weekend's done with this 50 to 60 mile an hour gust coming through. It's just, it's going to destroy everything out here in the campground if it's not, solid or down. We'll see what happens. But the good news is, I think the wildfire was under control until today. It may be under control. I don't know. There's been a couple of planes flying over, but there hasn't been near as much smoke as it was the last few days. So that's a good thing until today's wind hits. But let's see. News of the bus. Well, I got a call today from the mechanic in Cedar City, and they've been working on the bus, on and off. They finally got a chance to really get working on it, and as I mentioned before, they're going to call it international tech support. Now, the mechanic said after 2 hours of being online with tech support and running through a lot of scenarios and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, they got it narrowed down to a brake module. Sounds great. but this part hasn't been made for almost 20 years. And like I said, it's an obsolete system, hadn't been made. And it's the way this system is made up, what he told me, it's a brake module. I don't know the size of it, but it mounts on the frame of the bus. And it's got a pump, high pressure pumps that go in and feed the brake pressure to the front and the rear brake. It's got two like actuators that feed different front and the back. The front, he said, pushes out about 6 to 10 pounds of pressure. The back brakes, he said, builds up to like 2,000 pounds of pressure, which just sounds like a crazy amount. But anyway, that's what he said. And the parking brake is ran off of the front brake system, which is a 6 to 10 pounder one. And so after all their checking and everything else, it seemed like this front actuator, front brakes, is leaking and not able to build up pressure, which that's the reason why my brake pressure light probably came on. And if it can't build up pressure, then it can't open up the electric parking brake on the back. So it sounds real confusing, but it makes kind of sense. Like I said, this is a system they haven't used for many years, and I can see why now. And so he said, we got two options. We can either replace the brake module system, or we can just replace the pump, take the pump off, rebuild the pump, and put the pump back on. He said, but no guarantee when the pump goes back on that the other pump won't go out or the entire brake module will go out. And yep, I know where he's coming from. You fix one part and something else breaks. I said, what do you recommend? He said, I recommend replacing the entire module all at once with the pumps included. It's much easier, and that way you're guaranteed everything is new and put on there. Like I said, this part hadn't been made in many years, so it's he said it's pretty pricey. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, how much does this module cost? He said $5,000 to $7,000. It's a good thing I was sitting down. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, they're $5,000 to $7,000. He said, because they haven't made them for many years, they're obsolete. They're in demand. So, supply and demand. He said, you can find a used one or a rebuilt one for about $4,700. Or you can buy a brand new one for between $5,000 and $7,000. So that's not really what I wanted to hear. That was way over what I was thinking the whole, complete rebuild or rebuild, sound like a rebuild, what the complete repair would be. I was expecting to pay $1,000, $2,000 maybe. It's going to be more like $8,000 to $10,000 to have this brake system so I can move the bus. It's one part, but the bus won't move without it. So anyway, it's a good thing I'm working this summer because pretty much everything I make this summer will pay for the repair of the bus. Yep, that's what happens. And I told him, I said, he's getting some parts prices and we'll go from there. He said, I said, I have plans on keeping the bus for a few more years, so I'm not, I don't want to spend $2,000 on replacing the pump or whatever, fixing that, and it goes out. Then I still got to spend another $5,000 to $7,000 on the second repair and another tow bill, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the word of the bus. It's not the best news I wanted to hear, but at least we're narrowing it down. And after fighting with this wind the last few days, I am ready to get the bus back, because being in a tent or being under an awning, it's a warm wind, but man, it's stressful because it just blows everything away. But Zen's not stressed. I'm not stressed. Hey, what is it? Just money. So you got to have money to get your house back. So, and for those who want to know what this, kind of a layman's term, how this system works, is you got to think like a heart. Okay, you got your heart, and you got two valves that feed the top and bottom part of your body. Well, if you go out through and do a little exercise, a routine, and it pumps the blood different ways. Well, what happens is the blood going to, say, the feet is not building pressure, and therefore your feet don't move. And the other side does work. So your upper body moves, the feet don't move. So, you can repair one part of that system, like in the body, for $25,000, or you can repair the whole heart for $250,000. That's just a layman's thought of how the system kind of works. But and what have you done here? You got yourself wrapped all around again. Uh, but anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope everybody likes the close up of Zen, because he does not want to move from the camera. I know. It's all about you anyway, isn't it? We'll just call it and Zen. No more Tom. Yeah, that's good. Well, just to add this in here, yeah, I didn't make it back from my secret hiding place to take the awning down. The wind did it for me. And my gosh, we couldn't hardly stand up. So yeah, the tent's smashed down. We'll see if we can pop it back up. It should pop up, but the awning pretty much is, yeah, it's got to come down. So let me get busy. Zen is really stressed because his shade is going to be gone. So there we have it. The awning is down. Tent survived. Luckily, it just popped back up. Nothing broken that I could find. Got a couple little holes in the side of it, but nothing major. I got it staked down with 6 different ways, with the ratchet straps on 2 sides and the strings anchored down to rebar in the ground, like right over there. And they're down about a foot, so hopefully they won't come loose. The awning, from what I could tell, the frame is still in good shape. Just the everything else is crap. So maybe I'll get a sewing machine and become a seamster or seamstress or something, and just give me something to do. But the disadvantage is we lost our shade, unless I want to go inside this tent where it gets pretty warm. But what we do on that case, like I did last year, is Zen and I shall return or retreat back down there, across our little parking lot, to the aspen tree in the shade. And we become a mobile camp host. And that way we can hang out there. I could go just set up in the bathroom. I got a lock on the door, but nah, Forest Service would have a cow on that one. So we're not going to do that. Oh, what a great life. Yeah, little stressful things, but you just get over it and keep on going. We'll end the video and say thanks for watching, everybody. At least we got news of the bus. Not the news I really wanted to hear, but it's news. So maybe we'll know more in about a week or so, hopefully sooner, and see everybody around the campground.